Today I will head out to look for the Big 7 and hopefully find him right where I last saw him walk into the small draw below the blind. As I wait for good daylight before beginning my search, 2 of our team members are making the most of the day's first hours. 120 miles to the east, while hunting the urban zone near his home, Mike Reed starts the day in a tree stand on the edge of a large creek.
It's Tuesday, November 13th. I took the day off of work and Cooper and I are in the tree ready for the hunt here. It's pretty cold. It's like 16 degrees. We got a northwest wind that's about 10 miles per hour. The it feels like about 7 degrees, so pretty frigid morning for middle of November. And high pressure's over 30. And this is my first hunt of the year in the urban zone. And so since I just had one day, we just decided to come right here in town. And I've always had big deer in this area. I haven't actually hunted this particular spot in a couple of years just because last year I shot my buck really early, and I don't typically doe hunt this spot, but we're set up on a bluff over the creek here, and we got a couple ag fields, cut cornfields right here, and a bunch of draws that all filter over this bluff around this corner. We haven't seen any deer yet, but I'm excited for the sit nonetheless. I haven't had any cameras out here. You guys have heard me say before, but it's been a crazy summer, just a crazy year altogether with the twins and moving, and so I'm just having fun sitting out in the woods, and I know there's going to be mature bucks in the area. That's a shooter. Get the GoPros going. Yours is off. That was a cool first encounter. That was a mature buck, and I was going to shoot him. He skirted us at like 60 yards. We're up on this bluff, and it's really thick, and it's thick down below us. I grunted a couple times, but he never stopped, looked, or anything, so I'm a little surprised by that. He's bound to have heard me. I'd be really surprised if he didn't hear me, so it's just odd that he didn't even stop to look. Anyway, I'm not sure how many hunters have been in here and how much calling has been done, but anyway, cool first encounter nonetheless, and it's a relatively small area, so maybe he'll swing back through. That's the only deer we've seen so far, so it's a good one to see, I guess.
That same morning, 40 miles north of Mike's stand, Matt Thede is also in a tree.
Well, it's about 8:45, and so far I've seen a couple of small bucks cruising through this morning right at first light. Couple does, fawn snuck up behind me, but just had a doe look like she was being followed, but nothing right behind her. Looked like she was in heat. So I'm not sure if anything else will come through her, but had a little breakfast and just going to sit tight here and see what happens here the rest of the morning and see if we can't get one cruising through here, following that doe, or just cruising through the funnel. What a Brutus. Oh man, that buck is really old. And he's got nothing for a rack up top there, but holy smokes, what a Brutus. That doe came in and she was in heat, and she kept looking behind her, and I knew it was only a matter of time before a mature buck would be behind her. He came in, followed her right to the trail, and I'd never really seen that buck. But the more I looked at him, through binoculars, and he was clearly had the body of a mature buck. And he came in and stood there right where she went and kept going, and had to stop him here, but put one in the boiler room, and there was a lot of blood pumping out right away. So I don't think I'll have to, he dropped right over there, so I don't think we're gonna have to go very far to get him. So, boy, what a good day. Self-filming this morning, Caleb's out, and thankful to put one on the ground, that's for sure. Holy smokes. Holy smokes. This is like just a really old 6-pointer. He has been running through water, rutted up. A trophy for sure, and excited, and meat on the table, and for our family, and I'm just excited to be out here. So this is the end of the Thede Mason journal for their bow season, the early bow season. We'll be back at it late season with the corn and getting after it. So I can't thank the landowner enough for allowing us to be out here. We are on borrowed property, and he is gracious to believe in the mission of Outreach Outdoors and what we're doing, and so he lets us hunt out here, and we've certainly had some good experiences out here along the way. But best wishes to everybody still hunting out there and peak breeding right now. So should be a good next couple weeks here heading into Thanksgiving.
Back in the urban zone, the action continues near Mike's tree stand.
70. That's the same buck we had come through here earlier. And he probably did hear me calling now that I think about it. And it's hard to get downwind of us, but he managed to. He actually got right where we walked in. We came across the creek this morning in our waders, and I mean, he stopped right where we crossed the creek, and he started walking up the hill, and I had him at like 18 yards, and he was about to turn broadside. I was at full draw, and then he turned quartering to me, and you know, I saw him stomp. So at that close range, I felt confident just shooting him right in the heart, right in the chest, and I did that, and he went about, I don't know, 50 yards. He's dead right there at 68. So pretty awesome. He's the only deer we've seen this morning. Made a big circle around us, and we got him down on the ground. So that's a quick start and finish to my urban hunt. Nice cold morning, 7 degrees with the wind, and I don't know how long we've been in the stand. I don't even know what time it is. We've been in the stand a couple hours maybe. It's pretty awesome. Cooper looked down below us, way down at the bottom of the bluff. He said, "Big buck down there." I looked back, like, that's the same one. So he just made a circle around us. So pretty cool. He's down just up the way a little way. So we're gonna get packed up and go take a look at him. Look at that. That's pretty cool too, right there. Well, that's how you hope they all work out. Pretty funny. I really spent minimal time here on the urban hunt this year. As I mentioned earlier, we walked in, first hunt of the year. First deer of the year out here is this mature buck, and I think he's at least a 4.5-year-old. I haven't run cameras out here in 2 years or hunted out here in 2 years, so but big body on him. So I still got my statewide tag. I filled my landowner tag already, and we're going to keep after him. Certainly going to keep after Curly over on my main farm, and then Jared and I are looking for bucks to show up still on our piece that we own together. So we're going to stick after him. There's still half of November to go, and there's still some good hunting to be had.
After waiting until good daylight, I finally take up the Big Sevens trail. I'm back at the spot where I parked the four-wheeler yesterday afternoon when we went in to hunt the blind. And I haven't looked yet, but where that deer went into the woods shouldn't be more than about 20 yards from where I'm standing right now. You can see the four-wheeler right in front of me here, all covered with frost. We had to leave it, circle clear around through the country and get back to the house without coming down here and, you know, taking the chance of bumping that buck. We're gonna go look. I mean, dang, I hate it. You know, I hate it that they don't just fall. But you know, this is sometimes the way it goes. So we're gonna drop down into the ditch here and see if we can find him. There's blood. Yep. Here's blood. I wonder if he went up. Yep, there's blood up here. Right there. Not much to go on. At least we know he's on this trail. We'll search this side, then we'll cut across that crossing and go down and search the other side. Then we'll jump the creek and walk this stuff. I mean, he's got to be here somewhere. I'm going to keep looking for blood, but he was only drip, drip, drip. We come about 200 yards so far on this trail. And I think I know there was a bloody bed right where he went into that ditch. Then we just found another one here, about 100 yards or so, or 150 yards from that spot. I'm looking for the deer right now, but at some point I'll have to go back if I can't find him right around here or pick up blood right around here, I'll have to go back to that bed and then just work really slow away from there. The problem that you usually have is at some point they stop bleeding externally. And he wasn't bleeding a lot anyway. So I'm not saying it's a full-on carcass search yet, but it's going to come to that at some point. I'm standing at my home office now, up at the shop here, and right across the driveway is that patch of timber that I've been pointing to on the map all these weeks, saying that this is probably where that deer lives. This is the only spot we haven't really looked in the area that we think that the deer spends a lot of his time, so this is where we're going to hit next. We're just going to grid it and work it from the road down. And that way, if we do have him in there and bump him, at least we're going to push him back on, further onto the property. But I'd have to believe if he's going to die, he should be dead by now. I can't imagine that he isn't going to die. So it's just kind of a weird deal. But so we're going to grid this back and forth, and hopefully we can pick him up in this patch of timber. We covered this pretty well, this piece of timber by the house here. It's real thick though, so it's possible that we could have walked past him. I'm starting to wonder if the deer is even dead, because we've covered within about a 60-acre area. I know we've spent 7 hours, 2 people walking that. We're not going to quit after today. We'll look again tomorrow. So I don't think, if he's dead, he's not dead in the areas that we walked. Because we covered it pretty well. And he could have, who knows, he might still be alive, and maybe they can recover from those kind of wounds. I've seen some pretty crazy stuff. I mean, I've seen bucks that I would have sworn were going to die. Not just only were hit by arrows, but from fighting, and you'll see him again the next year. It's really discouraging and disappointing to hunt that deer for 26 days and then miss the shot by a little bit and have it in like this. Nothing much positive I can take out of it, to be honest with you. So we're going to look again tomorrow, so see if we can find the deer tomorrow. I'm sick to my stomach with disappointment at both my inability to make the clean shot and the discouragement that comes with believing a deer is dead out there somewhere and not being able to find him. I do take some consolation in the fact that these low lung liver hits, right behind the heart, do generally result in a recovered buck. Caleb Mason's deer from 3 days earlier, a very similar hit, gives me hope, as does a buck that Chad Lathrop shot back in 2013. Chad hit that buck in almost the exact same place as I hit the Big 7 and recovered the deer 2 days later. Though severely deflated, I vow to keep up the search. I will spend at least one more day looking for the Big 7 in his known core area and then decide on the next move.
Well, that's how you hope they all work out. Pretty funny. I really spent minimal time here on the urban hunt this year. Certainly going to keep after Curly over on my main farm, and then we're going to stick after them. There's still half of November to go, and there's still some good hunting to be had.
What a Brutus. Oh man, that buck is really old.
November 13th is the unofficial start of the rut's lull, but try to tell that to Mike Reed and Matt Thede. That is the beauty of this month. It is always worth hunting. Anything can happen at any time. The number of hunters still in the woods continues to drop. Those who remain almost feel like they're working overtime, while all the other employees with real lives have already gone home for the day. In some ways it feels good, satisfying, like you are now finally earning what you get. The wind feels lonelier too, colder for sure. It has a freshness that takes your breath away. You aren't only trying to outwit a buck, you are also battling the elements. Despite declining buck movement, this just feels right. You are staying the course, finishing what you started. While many are sitting in a warm living room watching college football, you are still out there, chasing November.